Hey everybody, Sheri Gauthier here, visiting from Canada, and we're here to talk about the power of water. So let me ask you, has life ever given you lemons? If so, you've no doubt heard the old adage, make lemonade. And of course, making lemonade involves a lot of sugar. So you ever stirred sugar into lemonade and watched it dissolve? Then you've already seen the solvent properties of water in action. So we've got a little demonstration for you. Of course, we're talking about water. And actually, we're going to use a little bit of creamer because it's easier to see. Our water, which is our solvent. Okay. And a little bit of cream. Of course, this could be like cream in the coffee. And when we stir it up, what happens? It dissolves, okay? So water is important for every living thing on Earth. It means that wherever water goes, either through the ground or through our bodies, it takes along valuable chemicals, minerals, and nutrients. And because of its unique particles, water makes an excellent solvent, meaning it can dissolve many kinds of molecules. But water not only dissolves compounds, it also dissolves more substances than any other liquid on Earth. And that's actually why we call it a universal solvent. All right, I have an explanation for you. Let's pretend this is water. We've got 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. So 2 purple, 1 white. This is water. Let's pretend this is the sugar that dissolves in water. Well, how does that happen? Well, water comes along and literally pulls apart, okay? These pull, the water particles pull and compete so that we separate the sugar, and when it's all separated, that's when we have it dissolved completely, okay? So a simple idea to explain how the molecules pull apart. So the hydrogen bonds with water, and what happens is it surrounds the particle, and it actually creates something quite technical called the hydration shell. But this serves to keep those particles separated and dispersed in the water. You see, the water and the creamer, or the water and the sugar, is not going to separate out again. Okay, that's really important. That's what we want. So water is pretty good at cleaning most things all by itself. So think about it. When you have a dish or a pan that has stuck on food, we put water in and let it soak. And then it becomes much easier to clean the debris off the dish or pan. That's because the water molecules have 2 very different ends, right? The hydrogen and the oxygen. Now they're electrically unbalanced. So they stick to all kinds of things. They stick to lumps of dirt. They stick like tiny magnets, which actually, again, help us to pull those particles apart, okay? Again, water is sometimes called that universal solvent because it can dissolve so many different things, just like sugar in your lemonade. So water can actually dissolve more substances than any other liquid, including the dangerous sulfuric acid. So when we combine the power of our Norwex Microfiber, we start with a fiber that's about the size of a human hair, and we split that 1/200th of the size. So when you add the power of water as a universal solvent, you have an incredible, unbeatable team for cleaning just about any mess. You can clean different surfaces quickly and easily. We wet with water, we wipe and go. So you might know that actually oil and water don't really mix, do they? So we just talked about water being the universal solvent. But as you know, things like oil don't mix. They don't dissolve well in water. And we can demonstrate this with oil and water, okay? So we'll put our water in. And then we've got our oil. And as you see, oil and water don't mix. If we leave this for a little bit of time, we will actually see that the oil all comes up to the top, creating a definite, different layer between the oil and the water, okay? So we know that our microfiber is great at picking up, drawing up debris, bacteria, and oil into the microfiber. And that would include an oily surface, right? If the oil is in the water or the oil is on the surface and we use our wet microfiber, we are gonna draw it up, aren't we? But the oily problems that can give us some real challenges, what about that? So let me explain a little bit how this works. Again, you're never gonna look at building blocks quite the same. So I have a little example here. We'll move the oil out of the way for a minute. All right, so let's pretend that this building block set with the pink and the green is oil. Now, when we put it in water, it stays as oil, right? It doesn't break up. So what we want is something to add to help separate the oil that does not dissolve in water. So that's where we bring in something like our heavy-duty degreaser. So the heavy-duty degreaser helps in this way. Oil is a nonpolar molecule, so the polar molecules of water cannot attach to it to cover it in a shield of water. So the oil just sits there. As we know, it just sits there, doesn't it? So the oil just sits there. It refuses to bond with water. How stubborn. So this is why oil and water need to be separated by an agent. There needs to sort of be a tug of war. And that's where that heavy-duty degreaser comes in. We have a tug of war where pulls it apart, okay? And now what happens is it separates so that the two cannot reattach, okay? The two cannot reattach. If we had no agent to keep that molecule apart, okay, then it would separate out into oil and water again, because it would couple and separate out into oil and water. But what we want is an agent that will separate and keep them separate. And we have an actual demonstration where, of course, we have oil and water. We put our degreaser in, okay. Now I'm using a little more for the purpose of the demonstration, but you'll see very quickly that once it's added and we stir, the particles start to break apart and they can't come back together. So we actually have a shot that we did earlier, and we'll get a close-up for you, but you'll see that there's actual bubbles of oil. The oil is being kept separated. So again, we mentioned the degreaser. It will help us with problems like oil that do not dissolve in water, okay? So I often get asked about our liquids, our liquid products. So let's talk about how we choose our ingredients at Norwex. Norwex uses what we call the 360 Product Safety Review. And this ensures the most effective cleaning and personal care products to keep your family safer. But with all the types of ingredients available for household and personal care products, how does our product team even narrow it down to create the most optimal formulations? It's actually quite a fascinating process and one we take really seriously. So for our ingredient selection, in addition to using existing proven ingredients known to be safe and effective, we also search the globe for the most innovative, breakthrough discoveries in natural, plant-based ingredients. This continuing research helps us ensure we deliver only the cleanest, safest, and most effective products available. So product development. Once we've narrowed the ingredients down, our incredibly strict product development standards dictate that each one be put through what we call our Norwex 360 Product Safety Review. It's a robust ingredient and formula analysis pioneered and led by our very own in-house Norwex product safety and regulatory team, of which each member is trained in toxicology. So to be included in a product formulation, each and every ingredient must first pass a series of complex and exacting steps and tests. We call this the Norwex Ingredient Safety Funnel. This process ensures that while many ingredients may be considered, only the very safest and most effective will actually become part of our final Norwex formulation. So there's actually 5 steps in the funnel. 1 is effectiveness, 2 is health and environmental safety, 3 is global compliance, 4 is quality, and 5 is the approval. So effective. Only the most effective ingredients in class and innovation are even considered for our products. 2, health and safety for the environment and our health. We start with what we call our no list. This is about 2,700 substances that Norwex bans. So we conduct a further safety assessment on each potential ingredient, also taking into consideration the hazard profile and actually the toxicological endpoint data that we've got available. Third is we look at global compliance. We conduct a review against all the global regulatory lists in all the different countries that we operate Norwex. Quality. As you've probably guessed, we only pick the very best of the best. Ingredients that make it through these processes are further tested in the finished product formulations. And what we're testing for is clinical efficiency, irritation and allergy potential, shelf life, and quality testing. So every product is tested and tested again. Again, the approval is number 5. Only the elite few, the very best of the best, even earn their place in our trusted Norwex products. All right, so let's get back to it. Like we said, remember from science class and what we just talked about, water is your universal solvent. This means that water dissolves more chemicals than any other solvent. It's why things like food, dirt, and debris all dissolve in water. Like again, when you soak your dirty dishes in the sink. So water is also buoyant, and it means dirt and debris will suspend in it. So why Norwex Microfiber with water? Well, we know more fibers equals more cleaners. Our microfiber is extremely small, extremely fine, 1/200th the diameter of a human hair to be exact. This means there are millions of tiny fibers that work together to pick up dirt and absorb spills. Secondly, removes germs and bacteria. So does cleaning with water and microfiber actually remove bacteria? Yes, and we have the studies done independently in outside labs to showcase how effective our microfiber is at removing 99% of bacteria when we use our cloth properly. And that includes actually a technique where we take our microfiber cloth, we fold it in half, and we fold it in half again. And we use this to clean, switch to a clean side, and that's how we can remove up to 99% of bacteria. We want to be using that cloth properly. Now again, those of you who have seen the balloon butter demo, I rub a balloon on my hair, it creates static. We put some pepper down on the surface, and when that statically charged balloon goes over top of that pepper, it statics up. So that's how dust is picked up. Our microfiber used dry creates positive charge and picks up dust like a magnet. It's also more absorbent. Our microfiber has been tested to hold up to 7 times its weight in water, so you'll get more done with just one enviro cloth or just one mop pad. Now, we've explained what microfiber is and how microfiber works. Let's just summarize it this way. The 5 benefits of cleaning with just our Norwex microfiber and water. Number 1, we avoid spreading harmful chemicals in the home. In fact, we can avoid using harmful chemicals in the home. We've got microfiber products, but we've also got a number of liquids. Some of them contain enzyme technology for cleaning. Those enzymes completely replace harmful chemical cleaners. Number 2, we remove more dirt than cotton cloths or paper towel. Number 3, protecting the environment. Number 4, streak-free finish on glass, mirrors, and more. And of course, save time, save money, save the environment. So when you're using the amazing combination of microfiber cloths with water, the universal solvent to clean, you'll be saving both time and money. You'll be able to avoid harmful chemicals in your home and rely on your trusty Norwex microfiber and other products to get any cleaning job done. So you can check out some of our best microfiber cleaning cloths, as well as solutions for the kitchen and the bathroom. And of course, flooring, we've got those microfiber floor mop pads. So until next time, guys, the power of water, the power of your Norwex microfiber for the best cleaning solution.